yeah, so, but you guys want to talk a little bit about minerals? My ferritin is 28 now. I want to double this by the next 2 months. So ferritin doesn't double as fast. You need to be patient, but give yourself a couple of months. If you see it's going up, that is great. 28 is good. It's not bad. I've seen people come to me with level 3, but definitely between 40 and 50 range is optimal. Now, if you have H. pylori, that's a different, if you have like gut issues, you may have underlining worms or bacteria that might prevent that, but for the most part, just continue what you're doing. What can I do for dry skin? I feel like I'm aging in dog's ears. So there's two things. You can use beef tallow. Our cream is sold out until the new year. We have a beautiful beef tallow, or one, you can look for a cream with ceramides. Ceramides will be very, very hydrating to the skin, and they will seal the hydration. I like beef tallow because it has ours has other essential oils, but I would just go to the drugstore, look for one that doesn't have fragrances, and it has to have the ingredients ceramides. I eat fruits and veggies and have scurvy. Confusing why this would be scurvy. I've not heard of that. Is that a, I'm just a little curious. I have not heard of that, my dear. Can I see your phone? You guys have to understand our food quality. I want you to really, really understand. Majority of our food, our fillers comes from wheat, grains, and corn. These are very nutrient barren foods. They don't have a lot of nutrition. They're like, why do they feed cows corn? First of all, the corn slows down their liver. They get fatty liver. When they get fatty liver, they get bigger quicker. The bigger and faster they get, the more they can like be sent to slaughter. So a lot of our food today, a lot of us have fatty liver. How many people here have fatty liver? And it's not really diagnosed until it's like kind of in advanced stages. So once you have high liver enzymes, you're kind of like in maybe stage 2 or 3. Stage 1, sometimes it's not really diagnosed, but it's not just, people are not really drinking as much. It's really these corn. So they have sneaky names. They have maltodextrin, they have high fructose corn syrup. Maltodextrin is a corn powder. High fructose corn syrup is just a syrup, but it's in almost everything from your coffee creamers, if you're using condiments, and a lot of us, this is our daily diet, is these fillers. So let's say we do even try to eat fruits and vegetables. Even that today, unless you're growing it yourself and replenishing the soil, it is not the same quality it was 80 years ago. It's about 80% less nutrient dense. So yeah, I don't want to poop, but yes, does that mean I'm not going to try to eat my fruits and vegetables? No, that just means that I do today, in today's world, have to rely on certain elements from the earth. I will never, I will always trust God's pharmacy. So that could be Shilajit, that could be sea moss. Again, good brands for both of these really are important. Not just any brand. A lot of them are, with any industry, it becomes popular and the quality becomes compromised. That could be trace minerals, which are really gross too, but they come from rock bed. They like basically break down the rock bed from sea ocean, and they extract it. And I don't know, that's what I used to do before I discovered Shilajit. It also has a weird taste. It kind of numbs your tongue. You can only take it in tincture form. But it's important that we get these elements into our body, and each mineral plays a vital role in the body. That we know. We go to the store, we see zinc, iron, magnesium, selenium, silica, boron, phosphorus. We see them being sold at, and so we know that they're important. They play a role, but they literally are the building blocks. And I go back to, I am a very firm believer in source God. I know that, we're not just a human flesh. We have a beautiful soul, and that soul is light, and that light comes from the cosmos. That I know, I feel it with every grain in my body. What religion you choose to connect to, that is your beautiful journey. We're not here to judge. But if you really think about it, if you go back to Adam and Eve, they were made from clay, right? Water and dirt. But the water, why do they sell fancy water at the store? They go, oh, well, spring water. What's the difference between spring water and tap water? Well, tap water has been heavily, God knows what's in there. I'm not even going to say the names because but then you have spring water that comes straight from the earth, and that will have electrons, minerals, silica, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, and we know that water is expensive and it's better for us. Why? Again, it's coming back to those elements that you need. So there was back in I believe 52, 53, when they started to introduce these farming practices. It really took off in the 90s. There was a doctor, Senate document 268 or 262. I used to have it on my Instagram and a highlight. I'll try to put it up on the new one. So he went to Congress and he knew that, okay, they're going to be introducing these new farming practices, these herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, which, by the way, when bugs eat, their guts explode, okay? And so many kids today have allergies up the wazoo, eczema, gut issues, bloating. Like, I mean, how many of us know about 5 people who have some sort of skin or gut issues? I do. It's not... It's become a normal part of our society, but it shouldn't be normal. So he did a whole document. You can look it up. I used to have my Instagram page. I believe it was document 262. I will put it up on the new one, where he said all these farming practices will slowly deplete the soil of the elements, the minerals, the fulvic acid, the humic acid, which will then lead to this disease, that disease, this disease, that disease. Should I add trace mineral drops to my... Yes, you would want to look for one with silica. Silica's great. And I believe there's one called Cell Food. You could just add a drop, Cell Food. So if you can't afford to buy, and then again with the water, you get the plastics. It's when the plastic is heated up that and the smaller the bottle, the worse. So if you absolutely need to buy plastic water, let's say you're at a gas station, you're super thirsty, don't go for the small ones because there's more concentrated phthalates in that little cup. You'd want to go with a bigger one if you absolutely had to. So yes, you could do something there. I'm not sponsored, but I used to use them. I don't really add mineral drops because I get enough from Shilajit, and you can even add sea salt. Again, quality matters. Sea salt's becoming a big thing, and when that happens, there's a lot of companies that don't care about quality and compromise it. So with sea salt, honestly, I love, there's a form of sea salt called bamboo jade, and it comes from Hawaii. And Hawaii itself does still have some good soil. I don't know. So allegedly, there was a village in Hawaii, and everybody always used to live over to be 100 years old, and they wanted to understand why. And they had this spring that they would drink from, and it was so minerally dense that the water was like cloudy. They tested it, and it was like so much silica and magnesium, and these people would drink it. They had beautiful hair. They would live long. And allegedly, I don't know if you can find this, but basically they said that the army had like covered it up, so you can no longer have access to it. But Fiji water is a very good brand. It is one of the ones that's high in silica. But you can just get your drops from any health food store, and if you wanted, or sea salt, add a drop or two. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Thank you guys. Any cure with IBS? Aisha, before I talk about IBS, I'm going to ask you a question. So I have IBS. I've had it, I have it. Why do I say I had it and I have it? My IBS is usually typically under control unless I'm super stressed out and my nervous system just goes into fight or flight. Sorry, that's my son. Love, can you close the door? So when my nervous system goes into fight or flight, my IBS comes back with a vengeance. So what I'm asking you is, sometimes it's not even the food, it has to do with your nervous system. For instance, when I woke up and my Instagram account of 8 years that I worked so hard was gone, my IBS came back because I was in fight or flight. I was like, oh my God. And it took about a week to go. But I would say apple pectin is great. It's a great fiber. It's cheap. Can Shilajit be 2 times AM for AM, PM? No, less is more. Less is more. You don't need, I know like, okay, I feel great. I feel energetic. You don't need, I mean, maybe if you wanted to take a rice grain amount, but taking a pea size 2 times a day is not really something. So how do you regulate your nervous system? It takes practice. So yesterday, for instance, I have a fear of mold. I lived in mold the last 2 years. It really, really made me sick. My husband wanted to install the washer machine. So he calls the plumber. The plumber's like, well, I don't have the right tools. Leaves, it's 8 p.m. He's like, it's getting late. Leaves, and there's like a leak, like a full-on bump, bump, bump. And the leak is now getting behind the cabinets. My nervous system, I was like, oh my God, the mold. And I'm still feeling it today. Like I get lower back pain, my feet tense up, my shoulders tense up, and I would try to tell myself, it's gonna be okay, but sometimes there's only so much you can do, and now I'm recovering. Like they fixed it, it was a leak, it's not a big deal. I tried to do as much as I can to prevent any mold. I had the dehumidifier on. I mean, I did what I can. I sprayed it. Hopefully we don't get mold. But when you're in that moment where you feel like you're going into fight or flight or somebody's stressing you out, ask yourself, you just have to check in with yourself. I'm like, and for me, it's like the most extreme. Do I feel like it's the end of the world? Most likely you're saying no. Okay, great. Do you think that this can be fixed? What will you tell yourself? Yes, I do. So you reconfirming to yourself that everything will be fine does kind of help. I know it's weird. And then you just do deep breath work. And I just took a walk. Sometimes when I'm really in that state of my mind can't get off of, it's honed in on this, I just take a walk and I take deep breaths, or I kind of press on here. This is called your gamma point, or you can do tapping. See what resonates for you. We all have tools in our toolbox. I go to YouTube and I put on a binaural beat, or there are frequencies you can listen to help calm your nervous system. I do prayers. There's no supplement that will get me out of my, oh my God, fight or flight. Run an ozone. Yeah, we did. We put the ozone. Thank you. We had it underneath. We ran an ozone. Should we do that again? Just today, just to be on the safe side as a woman? Did you ever get IBS before you even wake up in the morning? Yeah. If I went to bed with something on my mind that was stressing me out, so my IBS, I didn't have symptoms for years. And then, let me just 1 second. If it's lagging, can I take off the tour guard?
Yeah.
Okay, love you. That noise in the back is really just, okay.
Are you
All right.
good?
Yay. It shouldn't lag anymore. It's lagging, I've noticed. Okay, is it better? It should be better now. Should be better. So if you go to bed with something that is stressing you out all night, you probably might not have the best form of sleep, and you probably may wake up and have to run. Now, in Chinese medicine, if you have diarrhea first thing in the morning, there are a few things. It could be a spleen, kidney, qi deficiency. So my other signs to watch out for: do you have anemia? Do you have lower back pain? Do you have pain behind your knees? But then in Chinese medicine, the spleen is where your worry is harnessed. That is harnesses the emotion of worry, and your kidneys have fear. So sometimes then that emotion overpowers them and they're not functioning optimal, and then everything kind of slows down. So yes, for me, when I had that message that, oh, your account's taken down, I had IBS like for 2 weeks nonstop. It's getting better because like life is life, you move on. But yeah. Oh no, very bad lagging. It's better, or is it not? Is it still, she's saying it's still lagging.
No. You have YouTube, just watch both.
Okay. Is IBS when you have diarrhea? IBS is when you can have runny stools. It doesn't have to be diarrhea. It can be bloating after a meal. It can be gas, bloating, but yeah, you have just like the runs, and your food isn't like, you don't want to have runs, because then you haven't properly digested your food, and that's an issue. Then you're not extracting the nutrients from it. So, but I truly believe IBS is, there's an emotional component to it. So Crohn's is Crohn's, you just have inflammation in the gut, and sometimes people with Crohn's, it's really good to start looking at your stools. Your stools can tell you a lot about. So if you like white mucus, that's more inflammation, and you might be having inflammation from foods such as wheat. They might be super inflammatory for you. Might not be for your father, but for you, you might be very sensitive. And I do want to say, today's wheat is an heirloom wheat. It is not, it's been genetically modified to yield more wheat, more gluten, but it's not as nutrient dense. Now, if you want to get wheat that make your own bread, you would look for Poland has good wheat, or you can look for Italian. You quit beer. So beer is wheat based. And what are you? YouTube is really weird. It's
not. It's
wheat based, and you would want to start to now maybe replenish your good gut bacteria. You can do that with kefir. You can go to Trader Joe's, get sauerkraut. Eat that. You can do apple pectin for fiber. You would want to include fiber in your diet. It's very important. The good bacteria in your gut feeds off of the fiber. You could do a probiotic short term, maybe for like 30 days to 90 days, depending on how severe your bloating is. But you do want to replenish your gut with beer. It's also fermented wheat, so there is best foods for fat loss. If you're trying to lose weight, you want to have nutrient dense, calorie deficit, and you have to be moving your body. There's no way around that. Nutrient dense, calorie deficit, moving the body. So nutrient dense, I think like paleo type diet is one of the best forms, very gentle on the gut, but super nutrient dense. And what I used to do when I didn't have time to cook, but I knew my teacher said that the meals you nourish your body with are very important, was I just would pull out the crock pot and just throw, like, look up paleo crock pot recipes, and then pick one that floats your boat and make that. No, so that wouldn't be the greatest form, Don. Something like apple pectin would be great. Look for organic apple pectin. You can find it online. Metamucil won't really feed your good gut bacteria. So if you're gonna do apple pectin, if you're gonna do fiber, do one that also feeds a good gut bacteria. But here's the thing with apple pectin. Love, my apple pectin's in there. Can you just get it in a clear? I will show you what happens. It gets very thick. So if texture bothers you, you can find apple pectin and in supplement form, and you would take 3 or 4. So now if you're trying to lose weight, let's say you have insulin resistance, right? You're trying to lose weight. Rule of thumb for at all of our meals, you always want to have carbs last. Carbs have the most glucose. They release the most glucose. Every time we release glucose, our insulin goes up, and when we have too much insulin circulating, a few things can happen. That blood can store in your brain, dementia, in your eyes, glaucoma, in your pancreas, diabetes. So we want to, it's normal to have insulin spikes, but it's not normal to have insulin spikes all day long. That's when your insulin's too high, your body will start to store fat, and we don't want that. So rule of thumb is when you're having a balanced meal, always have the carbs last. So first have your veggies, then have your protein, then carbs last. So if you're gonna do pasta, let's say, I really don't eat pasta, but once in a blue moon, I mean, I love it, I just don't eat it. Then you would have some vegetables before your pasta, okay? Very important. Now, if you were trying to lose weight, and you have insulin resistance, all you could do, and this is not about brand, I don't know what brand you can get, do your own research. Love, do you have a little spoon? So this is what apple pectin looks like. Okay. And you would just add a teaspoon to your cup 20 minutes before a meal. Why do I say 20 minutes before? You don't want to really drink with your meals because you can further dilute your stomach acids, and you want those acids to help you break down the food, right? So you want, that's why they have digestive enzymes. They help your stomach acid. But so you want to either do it 20 minutes before a meal, and you can do a drop or 2 of ACV, and people have put their arm on the glucose monitor. They've had a meal, and when they do that little hack, they don't have a huge spike really fast. Thank you. Good morning, Miso. There are some people that say kale, spinach are bad for you. What do you think? So nothing is bad. It's just that kale and spinach are high in oxalates. That's number 1. They're also on the dirty dozen list, meaning you would want to buy them in organic form. There's fruits and vegetables on the dirty dozen list that their skin is softer and they absorb more of the pesticide sprayed. Does that mean you shouldn't have them? No, you should just, but some people who have kidney stones or gout might not do well on an oxalate. So almonds are high in oxalate, kale is very high in oxalate, spinach. So if you have kidney stones, then you would want to try to avoid oxalate foods for a little bit. What could you do for neuropathy in the body, numbness and tingling in hands and feet and mouth? That you would want to get checked out, rule out, God forbid, anything like MS, really important. Doctors are great when you need to get checked. Doctors are great for you break an arm, you get hit by a car, but you would want to get tested because tingling, it could be something as simple as vitamin B1, B2 deficiency, but it could be something, God forbid, as extreme as MS. So that is not something you want to play around with. If it's tingling throughout the body, go get as many tests as you can from your doctor, and then from there, they might help you assess, and you can work with a naturopath and your doctor. I would do both. I do take on clients sometimes. What can you help with sciatica? So Connie, sciatica can be from one thing. So my teacher used to say to take a bath, and it worked. Mug root oil really, really helped. But let's say you have tension here, because everything is connected, and I'll show you in the body. Your leg everything is like connected like a web, right? Our veins like don't disconnect here and then reconnect here. They're all one. They're like wires. So there's one tip you can do. You take 4 fingers, and you would go underneath your armpit, and you would find a spot, and you're gonna know when you feel it. It's gonna be super tender. So that fascia might be pulling. Let's say you have shoulder pain. It might be pulling, and then it's like pulling this hip. So there's the mugwort oil that you can try. You can drink mugwort tea. That is helpful. But then you'd want to start activating. Oh my God, it's so. Why is it so? I have to do it. So it's just basically 4 fingers under, and you're going to play around. And when you find it, you're going to know, Connie. And you're just going to breathe deeply into that spot and release that pressure point. So I'm just going to show you. Case in point, everything is connected, right? There's nothing, connecting to a higher conscience, God. I just want to show this. Always be careful who you choose to share your body with, because everything is an energetic connection. Everything is an energetic, especially if that, you're sharing energy. It's not just a physical thing. You are energetically sharing energy. So that's why it's important to is there no acupuncture? That's my other book. So here we have a few. They call this your chakras, your energy centers. Thank you. Right there. Okay. So how do we activate these and get them spinning the right way? Do we want to talk about this a little bit? Our energy centers, do we want to talk about it a little bit? We can go into it because I learned about this a couple years ago on my health and wellness journey. And it's very fascinating. So when we're babies, we're born with these energy centers, and we have many micro ones, but the main ones run central, and then we have little micro ones, okay? When you get acupuncture, you're basically activating those energy pathways to bring more chi, prana, life force, whatever you want to call it. So when we're babies, these energy centers are wide open. That's why they say a child until they're 7, they're in their beta and delta brain waves. Beta and delta. Right now we're in theta. So whatever they see gets programmed into their subconscious mind. So their energy centers are open, and that's why a lot of people are attracted to children. There's also, we're not going to go into the other thing. Some people use child energy, but basically it's open. Once we turn 7, based on our life that we've been through, the energy centers, and this happens throughout our year, not just when we're 7, they either start to spin backwards. They're not spinning the correct way. They're spinning backwards, or they start to shut and the atrophy based on the trauma you've gone through. So having a closed root chakra, constipation, physically you don't feel like you belong. Maybe you were with somebody and you felt like you need to walk on eggshells, you need to watch what you say, you weren't allowed to be yourself. That would affect your root chakra. You would have gut issues. You might always feel like your pelvic floor gets a little twisted. Interesting fact, our pelvic and our jaw when one rotates one way, the other, sometimes you've seen some people, they have a crooked jaw. Love, that used to happen to me. I have pictures, and then this past 2 weeks with this whole Instagram thing, my jaw got a little crooked again because my energy centers went whoosh. So there are ways you can make them spin again, and your energy centers are based on the foods you eat, and that has to be foods from nature. If you're getting sunlight, if you're meditating, if you're praying, and of course getting minerals, these elements. Different minerals have different spiritual meaning. They say people who have a lot of zinc are also very spiritual. Now, when this is open and wide, you're connected to higher source. You want to call it God, source, energy. You can bring in that higher conscious energy. Okay, there we go. You're dreaming better, you're having visions. My teacher used to say he would meditate and pray. He learned from the teachers of Sante Cristo. He was a very strong Christian man. Never got married. Devoted his life to teaching people about minerals, heavy metals, spirituality, and he used to say that, I'm trying to find the word. So basically, what they put in our water and spray in the air does make especially this shrink. So then you have like we live in electromagnetic fields. We can't deny that, right? Right now, if we were to see it, you would see my electromagnetic field connecting to your IP address. So we live in Wi-Fi. We see it. It's there. And when those elements get activated by it, it puts us in, we're not grounded, calm. We're kind of like up here in our head, and we can't, our thoughts are racing, and then combine that with we're not going out, combine that with we're constantly scrolling, combine that with our food. So was it done by design? We're not going to go there. But when you start to then peel back the layers, so let's say in the morning you don't go on your phone, you wake up, you connect to outside, you have a backyard, you go outside. If you don't have a backyard, just open the windows, get on your porch, whatever it is, you just kind of move your body a little bit, you take some deep breaths, you do have some sort of herbal tea in the morning. Herbal teas are wonderful. Depending on your needs, there are different herbal teas. Right now I'm doing one for fertility, but if you're losing hair, you could do one with spearmint. If you have thyroid issues, you could do one with nettle, right? Then you just nourish your food as much as and you're learned that you don't crave these junk foods anymore. They actually put things in these foods. Look it up. It's a chemical called excitotoxin, and the more you eat, the more you crave these things. Diet soda, oh, I'm being so healthy. You're actually drinking aspartame. What makes it so sweet? It's a chemical, but that chemical will actually make you crave more of the diet soda that you love so much. And that phosphorus in there is like breaking down your bones and your teeth. So wouldn't it be great? Yes, I had those addictions before. I absolutely know. Anything that was bad for me, I had it. I get it. We're human. We go through life. We have stages. But I'm telling you, you can overcome that. And it starts with baby step. It starts with really these small habits, connecting to nature as much as you can. If that means parking your car as far as you have to get those extra steps in, you do that. If that means taking the stairs instead of the elevator, you do that. If that means cutting off people that only call you when they want to get together and drink or do whatever, then you cut them off. If that means going inward and shutting out the world and stop listening to the news, then you have to do that. My teacher got to a point where, and I'm at that point, the news doesn't trigger me. Because he used to say that you become so grounded and you understand that this world is a movie, it's a play. We are here temporarily. That's one thing nobody can deny. We're all here having a human experience. It's one big school. And based on the lessons that we go through, we either elevate to a higher level of consciousness, forgiveness, or we stay pissed off. And the more you elevate, you understand, okay, this is life, we're going through it. So he's like, whenever I watch the news, before I turn it on, I tell myself, what is playing today in the movie theater? Because everything is a collective consciousness. Wars that play out have to deal with greed. It's never, ever, ever about, it's always about greed, power, control. So then you have these poor innocent folks that are being played out from this bad frequency. But understand something. I know, because I've read it, and I love reading scripture. I believe scripture is the word of God, whether you want to gravitate towards the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. These books have been here for thousands of years, way before we came along, and they will be here way after we leave. So in it, God once said, do not call them dead, for they are not. If you were to offer them the world, they would not come back. They are with me, they are safe. But unfortunately, they had to be part of this play that is playing out. This higher conscious that right now is not of a good, and these systems are crumbling. These systems are slowly crumbling. It might not be in our lifetime, but I'm telling you, and the kids born today, they are so wise beyond, they're coming into this world awake and alert. And you know, even though they're trying their best to like mess with the food, the air, the water, we as humans are adapting. So all I would say is try to do your best to first starts with your diet. Paleo crock pot recipes will be awesome. You can do something as easy as apple pectin. That will get an easy way to get your fiber into your body. Like today, I didn't have time to eat beans, and some days I don't want to eat beans, you know? So I just drink a cup or two of the apple pectin. Where you get it, I don't know. I'm just telling you, it's not for brand. I would definitely take Shilajit. This will have the fulvic and the humic acid. Of course, my brand is always going to be grade A. We do not compromise on quality, zero heavy metals. Meditate, listen to things that elevate you. Stop listening to the music. The music today is not, they play frequencies behind it. I don't really listen to music. I don't really anymore, unless sometimes I like to listen to opera, but I listen to frequencies. And the beauty of the internet today, you can use this tool to help you thrive. There are so many wonderful creators on here, on all the platforms. Or you can, just like anything, you can take make a salad with it, or you can take it and hurt somebody. Everything you have the choice to use it to your benefit or not. Oh, thank you. Thank you. When I get in the zone, I get in the zone. That's why I disappeared for a long time. I got super sick. I moved to the mountains, but I was in nature and I was close to where we get our Shilajit. My son has sinus, head congestion, cough. How old is your son, Clooney? How old is your son? So you can do a few things. You can get yourself, every household should have over a year ago from one of your videos, I stopped coffee in the morning, no phone, TV, phone, morning meditation, has almost cut out junk food, low vibrational people. Thank you again. Thank you. That made me cry because that's what I try to live my life for, is bring a message of one person vibrating at a level 9 is worth 1,000 millions of people vibrating at a level 1. 1 is fear, anger, frustration. The higher up you go on the conscious level, the higher up. So one person vibrating can overpower thousands of people vibrating in fear. And the more people we get vibrating at that level, the more this world will become a better place. We will be more consciously awake. We will start questioning. And when we wake up and start to question, they won't have a choice, because we're not going to buy their food anymore. We're not going to buy the Kellogg's. We're not going to buy the crap. We're not. We are the consumers. We're not going to do it if you see that it's not in our highest good. Thank you, thank you. I was a little upset about my Instagram account. A little under the weather. But prayers that I get it back after this live, if you can pray. And I do have a new account up. If you guys want to show it some love, it would mean the world to me. Kelly, what do you think about Botox? Kelly, so Botox, here's my thing. I'm not obviously as women, we want to look in the mirror and feel good. There is nothing wrong with that, okay? In fact, if I ever needed a facelift one day, I may do it. But I used to dabble with filler. I did filler maybe 5 times in my life, starting from 2008. And I would do it every 3 to 4 years under my eyes because I had hollowness. And it was great. I loved it, Kelly. But these things, they block your lymphatic drainage. With Botox, what it does, it freezes your muscle so your muscle looks relaxed. There are a few things you can do. You want to start massaging that tension. There's a lot of wonderful creators, their whole account is dedicated to that. You can get yourself a acupuncture pen. I don't know of a brand. You would just type in acupuncture pen and I will show you. And what you would do is, okay, so this is what an acupuncture pen looks like. You don't want the one with that is has a battery. You want a steel one, steel ball form. What you're gonna do is imagine having a shirt and you're gonna iron. It is gonna feel so tense. So Kelly, our emotions actually from nighttime, we have something called fascia. Maybe you've seen on the chicken skin underneath, there's that thin little layer under. So humans have that all along. And they say that's where our emotions get stuck. Think about it. There are people who walk around who just look angry. They weren't born angry. When people go to war, the shock is like stuck in their face. So Botox, it's a Band-Aid. You're not getting to the deep root. And the other thing is when your muscles are tense, the blood brings oxygen, blood brings nutrients. So what you want to do is break up this tension, then go on to, no, you don't put serums on. Then you can go on and look for face tape or just kinesiology tape on Amazon. I do have it on my Amazon page, but you can just go and that would be on my website, but you don't need to get it from there. And at nighttime, you would tape wherever you have the wrinkles. So like for me, it's right here. I have these 11 eyes. So you tape them because at night, when we have a lot of tension, we wake up and we look more like, oh my God, what's going on? So you would tape it here and you can tape it here. You can tape it here. You know, it's your face. Do what you want. The other thing with Botox is over time, let's think about it. When you break an arm and you're not using that muscle, how many people who have broken their arm, then they get a cast and that muscle is atrophied, it shrinks because they weren't using it. So and I'm sure you've seen a lot of these celebrities who are doing Botox long term, their skin looks very thin. And you don't want thin skin. Trust me, as you get older, you want to try to keep your skin as plump as possible because you might look like this, but you're going to have super thin, really transparent skin. So I would say no. That's my reasoning for no. But I will never judge somebody. Fillers are going out of style. We are learning that they are basically, they're not dissolving. They're not dissolving. What did I do? You know, I still think, Crystal, I have some filler in there. I dissolved it. But what happens if you've had filler for many years, it actually gets intertwined with your fat, with your meat, sorry, I still have filler in there. And as you can see, over time, it gravitates downwards and it's caused this little issue here. Now I could try to dissolve it, but so I had two things. I had the filler first surgically removed, and I'm gonna be honest, I had surgery done, eye surgery, and it was really bad. I've done videos on it. My eyes became super puffy. And so I first had the surgery and they were scraping it out, and then they took this muscle here and they cut it and they repositioned it. So it's not, I think it's lower bleph. That's what they did. And then from there, I still had filler and it was still puffy. So then I had to get some of it injected, but I still think I have some in there because I was doing it for 13, 14 years, every few years. So it was just sandwiching on top of each other. But if you want to get rid of your hollow eyes, with science, there's more and more wonderful procedures that are more natural coming up. And one of them is called PRF. PRF is, they basically take your blood, they spin it and they churn it into a gel, an easy gel, and then they inject it. It's your own, but you would have to do 2 or 3 treatments because every 6 months it kind of dissolves, and you would just have to do it, but that would actually stimulate your own cells to have so I wanted to do, Kelly, when I first got my fillers out, because I was so used to having, y'all, remember when if you grew up watching The Hills, when Kelly, was it, what's her name, Montag, what's her name, Kelly Montag, is that her name? Is her name Kelly? The one married to Spencer Prague. Heidi Montag. When she first had all that surgery done, and we were like, oh my God, she looks so, like, everybody looks like that now, so it's normal. So then when you see a natural face, you're like, do I look normal? Because we've been conditioned to think that like this and this is normal. But when she first came out, we were like, what the heck did she do to herself? And now everybody has that look. So yeah, when they first took out my under eye filler, I was like, the hollows, they're back. And then I went to go ask about the PRF, and the plastic surgeon was like, you can't do it because you have very thin skin, and it will, like, he just told me, you shouldn't do it. So what I've been using, the cat's out of the bag. It works. I wanted to share it. I found another creator on here who has a serum that stimulates your own fat cells, and I've been using that, and the studies were done 50 days, and it works. It really works. The name is Volufil. And I've been using it here, 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 and here. And do you think it's working, that serum I use at night?
Yeah.
It basically stimulates, but my only question is, when I stop using it, will it go back? So I don't know I don't know of that question either. Juan, you mentioned once you can take nigella seeds powder for retaining hair color. Not nigella, sesame seeds, the ones they put on. Sesame seeds nourish your kidneys. In Chinese medicine, your kidneys are related to your premature graying. And there is a peptide that science has discovered. Peptides make up an amino acid. Amino acids make up a full protein. They've discovered a peptide that could potentially reverse grays, and you would just put it in your scalp. Like, yeah, I definitely have a lot of grays, but I'm dyeing my hair lighter, and I started going gray at 13. Maybe 11. I don't know. What do you do for constipation? Are you properly hydrating is number one. In the morning, I would have a large glass of water with some sea salt, at least 8 ounces if you can. Are you maybe add an apple pectin? It's important. 1 second. They just found inactivity. I heard the more we die, damage to those proteins. Yep, yeah, that's true. But again, I just can't like walk around with it. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with looking in and I'm not doing it for others. I'm doing it for myself. Honestly, I will be having a book, Kelly. What did you do? I will be having an ebook with recipes and protocols, and we also now have a WhatsApp channel, Abi Energy 22, and within that channel, we will have a private group, and we can talk about all things and not have to have any eyes on us glaring. So I did create that because my Instagram account wasn't taken down because of any video that I violated. It was really bizarre. I believe it was a Shilajit company. Yes, the X account is where I'm going to be putting videos that talk about, big pharma or what, because Elon Musk now owns it and we can be very free. And people should know that BlackRock or these corporations, yeah. Love your clothing. Thank you, Amy. These are handmade by what would I call them? Are they a tribe? Are they
It's yeah.
a tribe?
It's a certain it's a certain group of people in a certain area.
So just like we get our shiluji from the mountains, the Himalayas, there's another area in Pakistan that they hand make these, and it takes like they're just very beautiful. He's 25. Okay, Cloney, try Golden Seal. Golden Seal is wonderful. You want to start drinking 3 times a day some ginger. You can go take a red onion and boil it down with the ginger and have him drink that, and then Golden Seal, and have him do that 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, night, before bed. And if you can get your hand on NAC, that will thin out the mucus. NAC. Could you please spell the name of that serum? Yes. Let me go get it so I can spell it correctly. I think I've been on it now for 40 days. I did take a little break when we were moving. It's made from France. Now, I got it on Amazon. I was a little weary because sometimes Amazon has dupes and you don't really know. But it's spelled Volufiline. Wait. Volufi. Okay, so you would put your serum in. I'm very happy with the results body-wise of Shilajit. Are you taking Zor, my dear? Are you taking?
Okay.
How about here? Do you want to just turn it off? Because it's just not good to do that.
It's fine. You're there.
I need hamburger. I need sandwiches.
Huh?
I need sandwiches.
Hi, is the reception better?
I need sandwiches.
It's working now. You're good. Okay.
Okay. Is it better reception?
No, it's not a better reception, but it's just I'm fixing it. It will be fine. You just continue. I'm just
What are you doing?
going to take care of him, and we will just take care of the internet.
It's probably internet connection from both feeds. Maybe. I don't know why it's like dark here.
But it's fine. It's just this way.
YouTube is just dark, love.
It's fine. It's working. It's working.
Okay. Is it better connection? I don't know. We don't have high optics here yet. This is a brand new neighborhood we're living in, and hopefully they will install it, but it's not going to be for another few weeks. So our internet's quite slow. It's 2 feeds, but was still weird as soon as you brought up. Yeah. Okay, we can't talk about certain topics, okay, because it just slows down the internet. But I was gonna say on X, I will post things. That platform is owned by Elon Musk, I believe. Yeah. So. Okay, we're back, but why can't?
It will be taken care of. Just leave it.
Okay. Were you guys on the last live? Let me know. We were talking Chinese berries. They're so healthy for you. You would get them at any Asian store or online. And you just boil them and you can eat them. They're very high in vitamin C, but they also nurture your skin and they taste good. Like if you like the taste of cranberries and raisins, it would be like a cranberry raisin. Why do I always? Because I like it. They're nice, they're comfortable, they're cotton. Um, I mean, I definitely have other types of clothes, but I just gravitate towards it. I think they're elegant. What's not to like? um, yeah. I like wearing my cultural dresses, even if that means I'm standing out. Uh, don't dress like your problems. I'm going to say that again. Don't dress like your problems. Wake up every day, put on something that makes you feel good. Put on some jewelry, put on some nice clothes, wear that little scarf. Where are you from? I was born in Canada, the US. My husband is from Pakistan, but my parents are Kurdish. Is there a name of the? It's just called red berries, red dates, juju berries, Juju berry, also known as red date. So they have both names, but you do have to boil them to kind of like release the nutrients, and they would release in the tea. This is kind of what it looks like. There's some other stuff in that tea, and then you can eat them. Now, if you really, you know, like how I'm gonna do a video, do you know how somebody scheduled a one-on-one? Do you know how some Asian women, not some, a lot of Asian women have glass skin? They actually, it's not besides some of the serum, it's what they eat every day, and there's something called snow fungus. It's a mushroom. So they boil this, that, and peach resin. I can't get my hands on peach resin. They boil it down to a tea and they drink that broth, and it really gives them that glass skin. I also have some. I'm going to start to use it. I don't know why I'm hoarding it. It's like something special. I learned that when you don't, if you're a people pleaser, sometimes we end up not using our things because every day is a special occasion. Um, yeah, that was fast, Crawl. He did. Oh, good morning. I love the information. Thank you. Thank you. Can you share where you bought it? This was, we buy, it was sewn. It was sewn by a dear friend, but the fabric we get from, my father-in-law knows these tribal people and they hand make it. It's from, what part? Multan? No.
No, DI
Di Khan. It's an area, and they're known to. That's what they're known for, is making these intricate designs. Would you like to see other ones that I have? I haven't sewn them yet. I'm just looking for. So when I got married, they bought me like old. So I married into a Pakistani family, and part of is when you get married, you get lots of gifts from the family. Can I also buy this? They don't do online, which is bizarre because I told my father-in-law, I was like, why aren't they online? They would do so much better. And he's like, because they don't really want to do better and they're happy with what they have. And I was like, okay. I did at one point want to offer it because I thought it was so beautiful. But that is something that I did want to one day offer, these hand woven. I try to invest in beautiful pieces that have meaning, that are made with silk and cotton. I'm not really into fast fashion. I'd rather shop at a thrift store and buy a designer item. Again, that was better quality stitching that will last. I have cashmere sweaters that I've had for 20 years. So for me, I like to invest in nice pieces and have a beautiful wardrobe of high-end, high vibrational. The fabric you wear also has an effect on your vibration. Polyester is one of the worst things you can put on your body. It is made with petroleum, plastics. You have pores, that plastic gets into your pores. Even with the bras, you got to be careful. A lot of them, those, I know the sports stuff, the sportswear, you're in those polyester things and sweating. Cotton, silk, cashmere, and the highest vibration fabric is linen. And back in the day in hospitals, they used to use linen, and they would wrap it. Linen is made from hemp. Hemp is made from the earth. So linen is the highest vibration. So if you can invest in linen sheets, wonderful, especially for the winter time. And linen, you just feel so light and airy in it. Yeah, dress with clothes that make you happy. I used to be that person that would have a nice dress and just keep it for a special occasion. And then my teacher was like, every day is a special occasion. You're alive, you're healthy. What are you waiting for? So then I was like, yeah, you're right. So I dressed like this to, run errands, and it's okay. It's not, let me wear it, let me love it. What's it doing getting to gathering dust in my closet? Can you share how to buy this? Are you in the US? Where are you in? But they don't sell it. You have to have it sewn. I will show you some fabric. I'll just show you. Okay, so this one I had sewn. I used to have a seamstress, but she retired. So I had it, it's beautiful. And then this is what it comes like. It's just the fabric, and you have to take it to a seamstress, and you can have it sewn anywhere you want. This is the scarf that goes around your neck. They call this a dupatta here. So you wear it like that. Maybe you've seen Indian movies. And this is the dress part.